Welcome back to the OpenAI Associate Developer course. In this lesson, we'll look at the combinations available between the logprobs and top logprobs configuration settings. We'll focus on the output generated based on the various setting combinations of these two properties. Before we begin, for clarity, we will always have n set to 1 for our examples in this section. Now, let's first see the three different scenarios we'll look at to understand the AI responses based on the combinations set for these two properties. Scenario 1. Neither logprobs nor top logprobs are set. Scenario 2. Logprobs is set to true and top logprobs is not set. Scenario 3. Logprobs is set to true and top logprobs is set to 3. Okay, now that we know the combinations we'll be looking at, let's explore each scenario in more detail. First, let's look at scenario 1. Neither logprobs nor top logprobs are set. When neither of these two properties are set, each of the logprobs fields in the choices array will always be null. There's nothing interesting here. Logprobs not set means no log probability information is included in the response object. Next, looking at scenario 2, here, logprobs is set to true, and top logprobs is not set. In our output display, we have minimized the unnecessary JSON elements, so we can better focus only on the logprobs and top logprobs properties. Looking at the output with only the logprobs set to true and top logprobs unset, here each logprobs object in the choices array contains a populated logprobs content array. However, since top logprobs was not set, each object in the logprobs content array will have an empty top logprobs array. We'll talk more about the logprobs content array and the objects it contains in a moment, but for now, let's first look at scenario 3. In scenario 3, we have logprobs set to true and top logprobs set to 3. With both logprobs and top logprobs set, the response object will now contain all the probabilities information for each alternative token considered. In this scenario, the output holds the same information as scenario 2, with the exception that the top logprobs array is now populated. The top logprobs array will contain the top 3 most likely alternative tokens the AI considered for each token in the response. Note, here the top logprobs array length is 3, because that's what we set top logprobs to in our configuration. To understand what we are looking at, we'll take an initial look and see some of the alternative words the AI considered using instead of kingdom. First, we see that the word kingdom was actually chosen by the AI. We also know this because it was in the AI's response. However, with top logprobs set, the output also shows us that the AI's top 3 choices were land, realm, and kingdom. And of these top 3 options, the AI chose kingdom. So now we understand the top logprobs array shows you the alternatives the AI considered using instead of the chosen token. We also know now how these two configuration parameters work together to help us understand and refine the AI's responses, and also to gain better insights into the model's decision-making process. Let's now take a quick look at the properties in the objects of the logprobs content array. In all the objects, we see the same 3 properties. They are token, logprob, and bytes. First, the token. This is what we've been discussing and is the word or part of a word the AI chose or considered choosing for the response. In this example, the token is the word kingdom. Next is the logprob, which is the logarithmic probability of the token being chosen, and is what we'll discuss at length in our next lesson. And finally, there's the bytes property. This is nothing more than the ASCII numeric representation of the token. It is just an array of the numeric equivalent of each character in the token. If you want to see the ASCII table, you can visit the following website, asciitable.com. Okay, in this lesson, we looked at understanding how the logprobs and top logprobs properties work together to provide valuable insights into the AI's token selection process. Next, we looked at the properties in the logprobs objects to understand what the properties represented. And in our next lesson, we will dive into the logprob property to understand the mathematics behind the AI's token selection process. Stay tuned as we dive into understanding the probability data from the AI, enabling us to fully leverage this information and enhance our understanding of the AI's responses.